Morning, ladies and gentlemen of the media. Welcome to our daily press briefing. I'm Sharon Leasan, Director of Public Affairs, Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. At our head table today, we have, as you know, ASP Joanne Archie, Captain Al Alexander from the Defense Force, and Lieutenant Kurt John Batiste. Yes, I know Kurt John Batiste. So without further ado, I'm going to take my seat, and we're going to start with Ms. Archie.
Morning, ladies and gentlemen. We have a report of an arrest at Piarco International Airport, and this was around 4:15 p.m. on yesterday's date, the 5th of October, 2011. Customs official at the Piarco Airport arrested a 37-year-old man of South Trinidad who was about to board a flight number EA 2158 to London. On checking his carry-on luggage, 30 packets of cocaine with a street value of $400,000 were found concealed in items of clothing. He is to be charged for the offense later today. And from an operational perspective, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, along with the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force and other protective services involved in the fight against crime, have made a decisive and strategic dent into criminal activities being perpetrated throughout Trinidad and Tobago. We have implemented a warrant execution program which seeks to ensure the effecting of thousands of outstanding warrants. To date, we have taken 125 firearms off the streets and recovered 12,453 assorted ammunitions and 29 magazines. We have destroyed large quantities of marijuana, totaling millions of dollars. We have held several persons for various offenses, including homicides. These successes, ladies and gentlemen, have been achieved as the state of emergency has provided us with additional manpower and greater powers of arrest, search, and seizures. In addition, you, members of the public, also have also played an important and critical role in our success. Many of you continue to provide us with valuable, useful information. We thank you for your continued support in the fight against crime. All of the protective services are working exceptionally well together, utilizing a collaborative approach to bring the perpetrators of crime and the criminal elements to justice. We remind law-abiding citizens that they need not fear. The activities of the police and the other arms of the protective services are aimed at those persons intent on breaking the law. We invite members of the national community to partner with us by sharing information and call 800-0699, 800-0700, 800-833, and 555. We remind the public that the weekend is almost upon us. Once again, we appeal to you not to lose your good head or throw caution to the wind. Please, once again, we appeal to you, do not drink and drive. While we in the protective services continue to work to achieve our mandate, there are times that we are able to take a deep breath and reflect on our achievements. Today, we recognize the achievements of the fallen officers who have been promoted. To the rank of Assistant Commissioner, we have Mr. Terry Archibald. To the rank of Senior Superintendent, Mr. Christopher Lewis. To the rank of Superintendent, Mr. Mark Hansraj and Mr. Johnny Abraham. To Assistant Superintendent, we have Mr. Kenrick Edwards and Mr. Curtis Paul. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Over the last 24 hours, the Defense Force conducted a total of 20 mobile patrols and 3 foot patrols in several locations around Trinidad and Tobago. These areas include Diego Martin, the borough of Arima, the cities of Port of Spain and San Fernando, along with Chaguanas, Moruga, Mayaro, Beach, Valencia, Princestown, Couva, Freeport, Claxton Bay, Marabella, St. Madeleine, and Toco. This was supported by 10 maritime patrols and 2 aerial patrols in and around the coastline of Trinidad and Tobago. With regard to arrests and seizures, between the hours of 11:15 a.m. and 12:30 a.m. yesterday, 2 illegal immigrants claiming to be Grenadian nationals were arrested in the St. Madeleine area and was subsequently taken to the St. Madeleine police station for processing. One operation is at present being conducted in the Beach area by the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force. Additionally, in addition to the regular maritime patrols, the Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard is at present searching for an adult male person in water. It was reported that the elderly gentleman was on a fishing trip at Cyril Bay on the north coast when he fell into the water and failed to resurface. The Coast Guard conducted surface searches yesterday. However, attempts to do underwater searches proved difficult as there was strong currents in the area. The Trinidad and Tobago Air Guard will be conducting aerial searches today in conjunction with the Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard. Thank you.
Good morning. At approximately 10:56 a.m. on Tuesday, the 4th of October 2011, Coast Guard Stobbles Bay received information that Couva police were monitoring from on land a fuel tanker suspected of transporting diesel to a vessel alongside a small jetty in Brickfield, Waterloo. Coast Guard dispatched Interceptor 025 and fast patrol craft CG-16 to investigate the situation. At approximately 12:04 p.m., Interceptor 025 caught the vessels in the act of bunkering fuel illegally. One vessel, a long liner, black hull with white superstructure with 2 persons on board. The other, a 38-foot pirogue, black hull outfitted with compartments for transporting fuel. With the assistance of Customs Marine Interdiction Unit, Coast Guard CG-16 and Interceptor 025, the vessels were brought into Stobbles Bay and handed over to Customs and Excise, Ministry of Energy, and the police, who are now conducting investigations. Thank you.
We now will open the floor for questions. Don't forget there's a mic roving around. Use the mic.
Just one question about the person who was arrested at the airport. Can you say how he was concealing these packets of cocaine in his suitcase, his luggage?
They were concealed among clothing.
So just wrapped up in
Hi, just to follow up that question, this is the second time in 2 weeks that the transportation of cocaine through Piarco has been discovered. Now, based on this information, is the police doing anything about it, like stepping up their operations at the airport at all?
The police have always been alert at the Piarco airport, hence the arrest that we have seen within recent times, so that we are aware that persons from time to time would be attempting to export or to take out illegal drugs, and we are on the alert.
Okay, if possible, can you give me an update? 3.5 weeks ago, the opposite happened, where the pairs, you were right here, pair of sisters came through the airport alleging that they found 2 packets of marijuana in their luggage when they went home. What's the update on that situation? Do we know, for example, where it came from and what exactly is going on there? In terms of some airport officials were saying that it's some sort of secret smuggling ring between in the airport.
What I can tell you, I am aware that the investigations are continuing with respect to that and the identity of the person who it was alleged purported to be a security officer. The police have certain information which they are working on, so I cannot disclose any further information on the issue.
And if I might, to the regiment, you said you're looking for someone in Beach, is that correct?
No. We're actually having an operation going on right now as we speak in the
Right.
Beach area.
Okay, so there's an operation going on in Beach, exactly. Can you give us any detail?
Marijuana ops, as well as several other individuals that we are looking for.
For Ms. Archie, yesterday the Attorney General said with the release of some of the gang members so far, there's been a hike in crime in the specific area that they were released. From the police statistics, is this true? That's one question. The second question is, prior to the, I've asked this question, I'll ask it again. Prior to the SOE, how many gangs were identified by the police officers? And now that people have been arrested, charged, and freed under the anti-gang, how many of those identified gangs have been disrupted?
I do not have the figures, the statistics to tell you how much the crime has increased. We have seen an increase in murders, homicides, that will cause us some concern, of course. And other serious crimes, I cannot say, I do not have any figures with me here. But we have seen a slight increase in the homicides, and we are looking at that.
Okay, good morning, Captain Alexander. In terms of the request for citizens to bring in their camouflage garments, it seems as if when people have had the experience of going to Tetron to take in their stuff and no one seems to know what to do with it or anything about that, have you been able to put systems in place to really deal with that?
There are systems in place. I've received one complaint at Ogden where persons weren't aware with regard to the procedure. What happened at that particular juncture is that there was a change in shift, and it was the first time that individual was actually going through that procedure. But systems are in place at all Defense Force locations to receive any form of illegal camouflage.
And for ASP Archie, to a certain extent, some of what is revealed daily seems like routine policing, but you're saying that it is being aided by the SOE. Can you tell us, is the police force at this time working on an exit strategy to be able to effectively do your work outside of a state of emergency in the way that you are under the state of emergency?
Well, as far as I am aware, we have not let up on our zero tolerance on crime. During the state of emergency, we would have had wider powers in the sense that where we can have searches done without warrants. We would have had increased assistance from members of the Defense Force. And even after the state of emergency, we intend to sustain this zero tolerance on crime.
This will be the last two questions.
This is one question. I'll ask two in one, so somebody else will get a chance to ask the question. You said pertaining to the gang-related incidents, having some members of gangs released, alleged gang members released, there has been a hike in murders. Are these murders now being classified as gang-related? Because I haven't seen or heard anything of that sort.
I cannot say there's a correlation, since that we are still reviewing some of those homicides, so that's the most I can say on that issue.
Could you give us the names of the seniors who would have given the go-ahead to charge some of these gang members now that we are seeing the DPP stepping in and releasing them?
I cannot disclose that information. Come on.
Good try.
Why not?
Good
Thank
try.
you, ladies and gentlemen. But I tell you, this is the last
That was
two
one question.
questions.
One question was about A, B, and C. I'm going to do the same thing. All right, so my question's really quick. I need some clarification, if I might, on the camouflage. Now, here's a question. All right. I bought camouflage short pants, which are not in your color, but in a sort of light green color, right?
Right.
Does it mean it's illegal?
Right. Very, very good question. There are two laws that treat with the camouflage. One is the Customs Act. That is very broad. It speaks to camouflage material. It doesn't speak to camouflage clothing. It speaks to camouflage material, whether it be pink, green, gray, blue, or any other type. It is clear. The Defense Act, which we are bounded by, speaks to any item of clothing resembling that worn by any member of the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force. So to answer your question in short, if it is that you have a camouflage short pants, whether it be brown, yellow, or green, it is illegal, either under the Defense Act or the Customs Act. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We bring the close to our daily press briefing. I invite you all once again every day to submit your questions to our public affairs at ttps.gov.tt. Even if you send questions on for the Defense Force, we will forward them to Captain Alexander or Lieutenant John Batiste as well. So have a wonderful day, and thank you all for being here, and stay safe on the road. See you tomorrow.